it's Shannon. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I hope you will hit that subscribe button because you'll find new DIYs, tutorials, and new inspiration here every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I am so super excited to be bringing you this tutorial. I know you see a lot of budget-friendly DIYs here, and this is definitely one of them, but you get to pull out your power tools for it. So I definitely feel like I'm finally getting back to my roots. This channel started as me sharing with you a lot of building and wood signs, but this is definitely one of those that is really simple, easy, and definitely affordable. And you can see the finished product behind me. This wall is part of my coffee bar, which is a big thing here on my channel. I love to decorate it for the different holidays and seasons, so it's gone through a lot of changes. I really wanted to take some time and give it a more fresh and updated look, so we decided to turn the chalkboard wall into a shiplap wall. So let me give you a look of it before, and then I will take you step by step through how you can shiplap your own home's wall using really inexpensive material. So let's go ahead and get started. So I've gone ahead and started to do some of the prep work on this wall that I'm going to be shiplapping today. I went ahead and took down all of the shelves, the brackets, and the hooks. Once those were removed, I realized that some of the drywall had come back out with those screws, so I took some sandpaper to the wall to make sure it was nice and smooth. And then after that, I added some spackling into those holes, so that way we don't see those holes whenever we go to add our shiplap to the wall. And now at this point, you're going to want to find the studs in your wall. Ours actually does not have any studs in it. We live in a 100-plus-year-old house, so it has more of the lath and plaster. And so I don't necessarily have to do that, but it is a very important step, especially if you do have a newer home with studs in it. And I wanted to share with you how to go ahead and do that. By doing this, you're going to be able to find those sturdy parts of your wall, and that's where you're going to add your nails to that are going to affix your shiplap to the wall. And now to do that, you just need a stud finder, and you run this along your wall until it turns red or it beeps, and then you know you've hit a solid structure. You're going to take a pencil, mark that spot. You're going to want to do this at different heights as well as the whole length of your wall, marking each stud as you go. Once you have all of those marks on your wall, you want to take a straight edge like a yardstick, or this one's actually 4 feet long. You just line your straight edge up with those marks. Take your pencil, run it the length of your ruler, and then you'll know where your entire stud is the whole height of your wall. Now I'm going to go ahead and take some measurements of the length of my wall so I see how long I need to cut down my underlayment. Alright, so welcome down into my workshop. I wanted to tell you a little bit about the material we're going to be using as the shiplap today. Of course, this is not the first time someone has done this. I've looked at several different tutorials and definitely came up with my own version that I think is going to work best for us, so I hope that it helps some of you. I actually had considered using actual shiplap, which is an MDF form from Home Depot that we used in our she shed. If you want to check out more about my she shed build, I will link that down in the description box below. I have a whole playlist on that. We actually used this on several different walls in the she shed, and I had tons of scrap left. So my idea was to use all the scraps, buy what we needed to finish this wall with some of those scraps. However, it ended up being still quite pricey. This runs quite a bit more than the material we're going to be using today, so I just decided instead of trying to piece all of this together, we're going to go the easy route, and that is to just use underlayment. So we purchased a 4-foot by 8-foot sheet of 1/4-inch underlayment from Home Depot. It was only about $14. Luckily, they were able to rip it down for us. I decided to go with the width of 5 inches, 5 3/4 inches, and that way I got the most out of that board. So the typical width of shiplap is usually 6 inches or 8 inches, but if you really want to get the most out of a 4 by 8 size sheet, then go with 5 3/4 inch size. I thought I'd show you this too. This is all that was left after he ripped it down for us. So that definitely made it easier, not only for us to load into the car and get home, but it's also going to make it a lot quicker for us to install. So now all that's left for me to do is cut down this underlayment to the length that I need, and luckily the space that I'm working in is square. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut them all down to the same size. I will have to do a little bit of custom fitting because our thermostat is on that wall wall as well. And so I'm going to use a jigsaw to do that. But to cut them all down to size, I will be using my compound miter saw. All right, so I'm back upstairs. I brought that first board up to just fit it in, make sure I did cut it the right length that I want it. You do want to leave just a little bit of a gap on the sides. You don't want it super tight, so it has some room to expand and contract. We're gonna use some caulk a little bit later and fill in those gaps, but this is good to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut the rest of the wood down. So here's all my underlayment cut down to size, and now we need to sand it down because it actually is pretty rough and you can very easily get splinters with this stuff. So make sure you wear some work gloves, especially when you're sanding it. I'm just gonna use my orbital sander and some 60 grit sandpaper. All right, so I brought my underlayment upstairs, and while I was cutting, all of the spackling dried, so now I can go ahead and sand that before I add my first strip of underlayment. All right, so now that I have that sanded down, I can start adding my first strip of the shiplap. I'm gonna be using my brad nailer and 1 1/4 inch brad nails. This first row is the most important. We wanna make sure it is level, because if it's off at all, then the rest will just keep getting more and more crooked. So I have my level up here, and I'm gonna add brad nails to both ends and probably some right here and right here. And then if you have marked your studs, that's where you're gonna wanna be putting your brad nails into to make sure your shiplap stays on securely. But since I don't have those, I'm just gonna keep making sure that I go up straight. We are gonna fill in those brad hole nails too though, so you don't have to be too precise with it, but you do want it to look nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started leveling out this first board and adding my brad nails. So there is the very first board, and I do have a little bit of a gap here on the end because this isn't level, but the board is. So I'm just gonna use some caulk at the end there to cover up that space. It's not a big deal at all. And now we need to add our next row. Now, we don't wanna stack these directly on top of each other. We want a little bit of a gap. So I have some nickels. So usually you do a nickel size gap with these. If you have tile spacers, those work too. And I'm just going to stack the next one on top using those nickels as spacers. All right, and now this next board that needs to go up, I was gonna cut around the thermostat, but Brian was able to completely take it off, and you can see all the way through that hole that goes into the other side of the wall. Our stairs to the basement go down in that open area back there. So what I'm gonna do is just completely cover that up, and then we're going to drill back through from the back side of the wall through the shiplap in the front to reinstall the thermostat. And it'll be super duper clean and easy. If you do have a thermostat or an outlet you need to cut around, you just wanna start from this side, measure to here, And then you also want to measure up, but you want to take into consideration you're going to have that nickel size gap, and measure up, and that will give you the dimensions of your hole that you need to cut out of your shiplap. We got really lucky, and the thin strip that was left over when the wood was ripped down for us just happened to be the perfect fit to cap off this shiplap. All right, so we have the hole drilled for the thermostat, and now we can work on filling all of those holes as well as caulking all of the edges and the bottom. So these are the two things that I have. I'm going to use this Dry Deck spackling for all of the nail holes, and then I have this DAP brand silicone and latex based caulk. It says you can paint it in 20 minutes. Once the spackle was dry, I went back and sanded it. So this is a look at the wall after it was sanded. Brian went ahead and took care of the caulk on this one, as he is much better at it than I am. And the trick to it is you add painter's tape to both sides before adding your caulk to the wood. That way you get a nice crisp line once you go to remove it. You just run your finger down the caulk after you've squeezed it on, and then before the caulk is dry, you want to go ahead and remove the painter's tape. You can see just how nice this finishing touch really adds to it. Not only does it fill in all of those cracks and gaps, it also gives it a more built-in look. Then it was finally time to paint. We're using paint that we already had on hand. This is Glidden Grab and Go White in eggshell finish that I just had grabbed from Walmart, so nothing fancy. The first thing you want to do is get down into those cracks and grooves of the shiplap. I started out with a pretty large paintbrush thinking that would help get down in there, and it really doesn't. I ended up grabbing a smaller paintbrush. You don't want to use a whole lot of paint for this part because you don't want any globs of paint getting stuck in there. You want it to have a nice clean edge on the shiplap, so definitely recommend the smaller brush versus the larger brush. Once all of those grooves were filled in, I used a paint roller for the rest. You definitely want to make sure you get lots and lots of paint off of your brush before you go to paint. You don't want any of that paint getting stuck in those grooves. Again, you just want those nice crisp edges. And I ended up using 2 coats of paint to cover my shiplap. Thank you all so much for joining me for today's tutorial. I hope that it inspired you. Please take a second and give this video a thumbs up for me. This was definitely affordable. The space that I ended up shiplapping is about 5.5 feet wide by 3.5 feet tall. So it only took that $14 sheet of underlayment and 1 tube of the white caulk that we used for the edges. So definitely under $20 in supplies. And I still feel like if you have a larger space to shiplap, you can still do this very, very affordably. Make sure to check the link that I'll have down in the description box to the playlist to all of my coffee bars if you're interested in seeing all of the different seasons that I've decorated it for. And I hope you will subscribe and stick around because I will be decorating this coffee bar for all of the upcoming holidays and seasons with its fresh new look. Please click that subscribe button next to me if you haven't already, and you'll find more great DIYs in the link below that. Make sure to come find me on Facebook and on Instagram for more inspiration, and I will see you all next time. Thanks so much again. Bye everyone.